Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. So we're back out here on the massive modern custom home going in the Temecula wine country. You can see behind me a lot is going on. We finally finished all this massive steel that's going around the fascia on the front section of this house and around the side. So my welder just left. He finished all the steel. Now my guys are here setting those windows. You saw the windows we had in the sitting in the garage. You know, those things are about $250,000. Extremely heavy, so the guys are here setting that right now. We also have my plastering contractors here. He's getting started, putting his wire on the house, right? He's wrapping his wire and putting up his stucco screed. So before we get any further, if you wouldn't mind, give us a thumbs up on our video. You know, it just helps YouTube to recommend our video to other people. Subscribe to the channel, and now let's go over and find out what's happening on this house. Okay, let's check out this window installation. You can see the guys have all the flashing on, right? First piece to go on is the bottom piece, and then the side pieces go over that. And then the top pieces go over the top of the sides, right? They put that on, staple it on, right? Here's the other side right here. And then they put moist stop right here. You see this is wet, right? This stuff is super thick. You can use Future Flash or you can use moist stop, which is what they're using here. Right, really good product. So what they do is they staple on the flashing, then they nail on the window and make sure the window's nice and plumb and even in this opening all the way around. Then when they nail this on, they don't want water being able to get through the nail penetration, so they put this moist stop over it, really thick, okay, all the way up. And this is going to get stucco, but we'll have even another layer of protection that goes over this stuff. So what we'll do is when we come in here with our stucco, we will run, we will lath this house with one row of the black lathing paper, and then we will put one row of Tyvek over that, and then we'll put bitchethane right here also, a strip of bitchethane here where our Tyvek comes over. So that's what's happening out here today. So these guys are putting all the windows in. Let's go around the side and we can catch them how they're installing it on the other side. Okay, let's go over here and check it out. These guys just put these windows in, all of these. Super important though that we don't just put flashing. You know, like I said, we use the moist stop, or you can use Future Flash. You know, we will use a whole tube going around these, and then we will have another layer of protection when we wrap this house with our lathing paper, and then we will do Tyvek over that. So now these guys here, here's my plaster guys. You can see he's sealing up the corner where he brings his stucco screed together, but they went along on the bottom. You can see where they went along and they floated the foundation. So any imperfections in the foundation, any holes, which really won't be that visible because we will color coat that as well. Okay, so when we do the house stucco color coat, we will color coat that bottom portion, but we don't want any imperfections in the foundation. We want it to look really nice. And we are going to be pouring concrete around here anyway, but you can see what he does here. Even though we have the stucco screed on here and we cut the stucco screed to overlap, we still seal all the corners. Okay, every bit of it. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but yeah, these guys are doing an outstanding job of getting this done. And then you can see they put their line wire on here, right? Here's a line wire, and the line wire goes behind the paper. So when you do your stucco, you want to make sure this paper doesn't push back. It lays up against the wire. They have it stapled up for right now, so he could do his wiring underneath. But this is how all this gets done, right? This is how you flash windows. You don't want to ever have to remove windows just because you didn't take time to do proper flashing. Happens all the time. We take over a lot of projects from other contractors, and we have to go back and tear walls out just because of flashing. So this right here is the proper way to do it. Okay, and you don't have to use a Tyvek paper, right, or moist stop paper, same thing as Tyvek, right? A lot of times we use bitchethane, which we're going to be using in addition to this, right? So we have like 2 or 3 layers of protection going on these windows. But the last thing we want is any moisture penetration in this structure ever. Okay, we're looking for the long picture down the road. So you can see here, all the corners of where our metal comes together, they put moist stop on it, seal everything. They cut the metal to overlap, have a nice corner, put moist stop. Like I said, we're going to have our lathing paper comes down right here, all the way down to the bottom. Then we'll have Tyvek that comes down over that, and we will tape. We'll put black tape and we will tape the bottom of the Tyvek just for air intrusion. I mentioned before how we like to try to build the most energy efficient home possible. We will seal this all up so no air gets behind the Tyvek. Looks good. You can see down below where they floated the foundation, made it look nice and neat, right? And then they put a level. They'll put a level on all this stucco screed. And you can see these holes in the stucco screed. You know, these serve a purpose. I told you before in a previous video. Stucco is like a sponge. Water soaks in through the stucco, and then it goes up against the lathing paper, comes down the paper, it needs to get out. So these weep holes right here, right? It needs to get out, and that's how it gets out. And then it drips down onto the ground. That's why when you pour your flat work concrete outside, you don't ever pour above the stucco screed, because then the water will take the path of least resistance. If you have concrete up here, well, then the water's going to come down. It can't get out, so it's going to go inside the house. And we don't ever want that happening. So let's go find our window, guys. Okay, these guys are in here right now carrying these massive windows and doors out. These things are extremely heavy, so it takes a lot of guys to carry them. Or, excuse me, it takes a lot of people to carry them, okay? You can see he's got a suction cup right there, so he has a way of grabbing onto it, right? These guys know what they're doing. They do this all the time. So they're going to move this now. They're going to take it out, and they're going to put it in the basket on the Pettibone, which is the giant lifting machine we have. And then they'll start putting this in place. So that's what's happening. And the last thing you want to do is break one of these, okay? Because thousands of dollars. See that? Suction cups work great. Okay, has handles on the side as well, but it's just easier to use those suction cups. Very heavy. Okay, we'll catch these guys when they start installing. You see my roofers are still up there right now. He's heating up. I mentioned before for the TPO, he has his machine that heats the stuff up to 1150 degrees all the way up to 1450 degrees. He's up there and he's welding all of his joints, right? They've finished up top. They're still working up top a little bit in the troughs, but there's a lot going on this house. This house is the equivalent of building a commercial building. It's massive structure. There's a lot of moving parts, so there's a lot to manage here. See these guys floating the foundation here? Filling in any holes or imperfections, right? Like I said, we are going to color coat that bottom portion. You know, we are going to have our driveway coming out of the garage here, but we still want to make sure we don't have big gaps or any holes, which we don't have very many of anyway. Sometimes you get some air pockets because of the heat of the concrete when you pour it. You know, concrete starts setting up, it gets a lot of heat behind it, which is part of the catalyst process, and it causes air pockets. Everything's looking good. Look at this guy carrying this thing by himself. Heavy, huh?
Yeah, so hey.
Good thing you're used to doing this every day.
Yeah.
See, these guys do this every day. So this is the right people to hire. They know what they're doing. They do all of our projects, and we don't ever have a problem. Right now, there's a problem with me being in his way. Don't stop, I'll have to go get the whip out of my truck. So this is our slider for right here in this dining room area. So they're going to start putting that. But before they put that down, I mentioned before in a previous video, you know, we seal under all the plates. We also have this double-sided foam tape right here. You see it right here? We have double-sided foam tape that goes underneath our framed walls. But they will use a whole entire tube of sealant going on here before they put this door down. Okay, because we don't ever want moisture getting underneath the door and into the house, even though this concrete's all going to come out flush because we have recessed doors over there. Our cavities, we have our big glass doors over there, our multi-slides. Those are recessed. They're going to be flush with the tile, and tile will carry out onto here. But then where it comes around the corner, we also have to bring our concrete flush, bring it down this way, and then we'll slope this way. So we want to make sure, even though we have this covered patio right here we don't. So we can get rain down in here. We don't want moisture going underneath this door ever and getting inside the house. So we will make sure that doesn't happen. Right, Cody?
Yes, sirree.
Cody's here working on electrical still because this house is large and there's a lot of electrical going on in here. But everything's looking really good. Looks good, looks good. See, nice and clean. You know, we don't know how far, when we do our finished grading, we're not sure how far we'll come up yet with this. But this is going to be, there's going to be some block walls built out here, garden walls, all around the front of this. It's going to be awesome. We're going to put poured in place concrete caps. We will stucco these walls to match the house. So a lot of this will be patio area. But we just want to make sure you can see how he's floating the bottom of the foundation, right? He puts cement on it and he floats it. Nice and smooth. That way when we do color coat the bottom of this, it's not all wavy and cracked and ugly, which I can't stand, so it has to be done this way. And he's doing a great job, like always. Go around here and find out what's going on. They're getting ready to put this slider in, but you see right here, this window frame had to be assembled this morning, and they're going to put that in right here because this whole thing opens up. There's going to be a bar top right here. So he will have his bar in here with his refrigerators, his ice maker. This is kind of like, he called it the guys' room, right? Because apparently guys are the only ones who drink. Anyway, so this is going to be a bar. So in here, we're going to put a bar top right here. We'll have a nice countertop out here. He'll be able to hand drinks, whatever, food through here. We mounted a TV up there on the wall, so when they're out here, they can watch TV. And then, you know, I mentioned this in the previous video, we're running a projector up there. I ran some Cat 6 and I have some 2 HDMI cables that are gonna go from there in this giant living room, but they're gonna go over here to where they're gonna have their DVR in a cabinet in the bar. But I will run an IR sensor through this wall, so they'll have a projector. They're gonna mount a projector up here on the ceiling behind this wall. We built this wall down 8 inches. We will have a projector up there, probably a 150 inch or 200 inch projector that will come down right there, automated. And then the projector screen, and over here the projector will mount up here on this wall below those windows. So we're running power up there right now, 2 HDMI cables and some Cat 6 just for future, and just because I was already there, so we ran that. So that's what's happening. Here's the bar area. But you see they had to assemble this whole frame, right? Screw this whole thing together, and then the glass panels go in it. This whole thing will open up against the wall. Looks really good. Okay, so that's what's happening out here today. As I said before, there's a lot of moving parts on a structure this size. Okay, there's a lot to keep an eye on, a lot that's going on, a lot of guys here working around each other, but things are really moving along. You know, this place is coming together really good, just the way we like all of our projects to do, turn out. So, looking good. You know, quality is the key. That's what we're always shooting for with everything. You know, we try to look ahead and see any problems that we could have in the future. We try to remedy those problems before they even happen. So, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join the channel. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. We're trying to build the channel. We can't do it without you. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you can learn something by watching our projects. That'll help you with your project. You guys have an outstanding day.